You know what? I was here record again on this one. Save me a little bit of time. Mm-mm-mm. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your host, Drake, B Drake with Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, the podcast with a purpose. And this Sunday evening, we're back with another Sunday Night Live where we come together every week to converse with our audience, our guests, our community. We talk about what's going on in society, what's happening with everything culture, and what we have coming up in the future. But overall, this is just a chill convo that we have with one another. We stream it on the talk and on the tube, but we share it to everyone. We've been doing this for 5 years straight, at least, at least 5 years straight. And we try to come up with something different each time. Sometimes we repeat conversations, but overall, this is like a open forum for conversation. So we appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for joining. Once again, I'm your host, Drake, B Drake, if you can say that. This is Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, the podcast with a purpose. Our mission statement comes from the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which is he believed that men hate each other because he fear each other. Let me clear that they hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because of segregation. And because of segregation, we have miscommunication. So we created this podcast on the pillars of respect, communication, and consistency so we get to know each other so we can love one another. Sorry if y'all see me looking at my hands and stuff right now. I'm a little ashy. We don't do that around here, baby. We do not. We ain't gonna do that around here. So y'all bear with me. This is a little unprofessional, but we keep it authentic here with everything culture. I want you to know that we keep it authentic. All right. So the topics for the night. First of all, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? If you're listening to this later on in the week or month or whatever you're checking this out, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Get a temperature check. You're eating well, you're sleeping well, the bills paid. I know the electricity high right now. You got gas in your car. Talk to me. How you feeling? Leave a comment. I just want to make sure we're all right and we're all in a good headspace. Are you taking care of one another? How you called and told your loved ones that you love them? Okay. We was able to visit family this weekend again, and it was a good time. I must say that. Shout out to Aunt Debbie. Happy birthday. Don't play this episode until Tuesday. Happy birthday, though. We love you. We love you. We love you. I'm so happy when family is able to celebrate family. And of course, when we come together with family, I don't know how y'all family set up. I don't say that first and foremost. I don't know how your family set up. I pray that you have a connection with with your family. And remember, family is what you make it. It's not always biological, but it's what you make it. It's who you have true connections with and who you want to build with and have community and love for. But if we talking about biological, I hope you still have a good connection with them. Sometimes people don't, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you do, I have a question. Do y'all have family reunions? That's good. Do you celebrate family reunions with your folks? If so, how often? Do you have a season? Do you help plan the family reunions? Do you have a responsibility with the family reunions? Or if you don't, how do you feel about family reunions? What goes through your mind when you hear a family reunion? What is the context that you have? Do y'all make the t-shirts? Do y'all have games? Do y'all have plaques? Listen, it's been a minute since we had a family reunion with my Johnsons, okay? But let me tell you, we little. It's normal to some maybe, but when you do things that are normal that are not normal to other people or their routine, they either go call it bougie, they go call it weird, they may even call it ghetto. It's levels to it. But little something like we have plaques, we have a seal. We have something like we have an emblem for our family, okay? We try to represent it and try to put it out, but I think it's dope. I love family. Family work my nerves, but I love family. Please believe that. Don't get it twisted. I was telling stories about family reunion when I was my first one. I remember when I was a child. It was I think of course in my hometown, maybe a little bit further in the country. I just remember it was off Troop Highway. Okay, and we had a great time. They had an event center, and we had like a baseball field too. We had it at. I remember that we had purple t-shirts with the gold lettering on it. I remember the tree, and I remember my grandfather, and all his siblings on there. So, and my great grandmother name at the top, and her husband, and I just remember having a good time. It was a bunch of us. It was at least like 50. I know somebody in our family still has that picture, all of us together. And I was like, who that little boy in the front with his hands like with the jazz hands like they little friendly? That was me. I was like, I should have checked that. Where was my mama? Like, but family reunions, I want to have another one soon, and I'm gonna bring it to the family soon. I've already tossed it out to a few people, but I can spend a lot of time talking about what it takes to plan a family reunion, the responsibility, the money, but it's connections. And I am that type of leader that I want everybody to step up and lead. I want everybody to be involved. I want people to truly be engaged. 'Cause honestly, I don't feel like everybody's gonna appreciate it as much unless they put something in on it. And I also believe that people don't always have to put a large amount of money into it, but put your time and put some effort into it. I want to know the skills and the talents that my family may have and possess. Even if you don't think you have a talent, you may have a talent or skill that can truly turn into a profession. Are y'all following me? Hmm. And when I'm thinking, I get in my head, where did family reunions come from? When did they start? How did they start? Shout out to One Mike. Man, I Google this. Yeah, if y'all don't follow One Mike history, you're slipping. Okay. But I Googled I just looked it up. I do a little bit, but I looked it up a, in a, how do I say this? It's two parts. That's why I ask everybody if you celebrate family reunions, let me know. This is for everybody. Once again, this is everything culture. If you don't have to be black to watch this and support this podcast and listen and to engage, but I would like to know who else celebrates family reunions because when I looked it up, a lot of family reunions on it started here in America, but American white folks, they were doing it because of the railroad because their work was sending them off far for them to work on the railroad. And when they came back, they may have a disconnect. So they had family reunions to bring everybody together, be more familiar with one another. Now, with us, African American or African descendants, American descendants of slavery, you already know why we started having family reunions. And if you don't, it started because after slavery, after Juneteenth, Emancipation Proclamation. Of course, a lot of us was separated, spread out, flee, and we had these reunions to maintain connections and history, and for us, our elders to share ancestral conversations and stories about one another, about where you come from, what we do, to hold these traditional foods, these cultural practices. Your family reunion was for that. Another tip, when people, in the work I'm in, the field I've seen, people will say about these elaborate and extravagant names that we have. Bonquisha, Pokita, Jarvaris, all these different names that people are like, oh, this is difficult. We started naming our children these ways, very unique, because with your child's being sold off to slavery, you will have a very unique name to find them. Once again, it's just a little bit of history. Y'all just sit down and sip on that for a little bit. But Family reunions are important. I just want to know, do y'all celebrate them? Do y'all continue it? Or do you look forward to them? Or you look at them, our family reunion? Do you think family reunions are still needed? Once again, let me know. Holler at me. Let me know. I love mine. I, but I'm gonna have to lock in and get it going though. That's the thing. I'm like, hey, can everybody get involved? But I'm learning that just like with society, I'm a person that I don't believe it's just one leader. I believe you need everybody to have that dog in them, that heart. I think everybody's a leader. Nah, I may be wrong about that. That's what I'm learning. I may be wrong. I may be I'm being called for a particular reason. So I need to answer the call and rather than sitting back and like y'all can do it too. Now y'all ain't gonna take advantage of me. I hope whatever software I'm using zoom in on my face right now. But overall, we can make it get it cracking. Get cracking. All right. Moving to the next point of topic tonight. Hey Court, how you doing? Moving to the next point of topic tonight. I'm gonna try to put it's really three points. I'm gonna try to blend in well. Y'all work with me. Y'all work with me. One, the new information about the Carmelo and Anthony case. Two, we're gonna roll into the Lindsay. I know I was gonna forget her last name. Oh my gosh. But the woman who murdered her three children. Is it Lindsay Clancy? I think it's Lindsay Clancy. So there's two. Thank you, Corey. Thank you. And three, we're going to talk about recidivism. We're going to talk about recidivism and we're going to try to slide in what's the other one? Dissidence. Recidivism and dissidence. So some information came out this past 5 days with the Carmelo Anthony case. They basically released the text messages. It was an agreement that was made between the parents and the attorneys and the legal representation of the parents and the judge was to not release the text messages from both sides. Well, they were released recently, okay, and they're talking about having a retrial, and they want to bring this information into the retrial, okay. Everybody follow me. Everybody follow me. Okay. On the brothers, the twin side, the man that was life was taken. He and his brother are pretty racist. Surprise, surprise. The most recent charge they had, I think they were just getting out of juvie for graffitiing KKK and swastikas, things of that nature. They had a long history of assault and threats, suspensions, expulsions, being removed from games. They did not like black people. They were aggressive towards black women. That it was so much information against those two brothers. Once again, a lot of us were not surprised. But but information came out also about Carmelo. Carmelo had a troubled past as well. Carmelo had behavior issues. He was on behavior intervention plans. The text message showed with Carmelo that he was verbally aggressive to his girlfriend, like using pew pews. And I say the most damning fact that came from the text messages from Carmelo was saying he's triggered and he wants to stab someone and lick the blood off the knife. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Then following that, the judge has revoked to have a second trial and for him to hold his 35-year sentence. Then following that, they're probably going to take it to the appellate court now. So that's a big update. That's a lot to ingest. It shows a lot of troubled youth. a lot of misdirection, a lot of hate, a lot of anger, and it seems like they had a moment with one another that things turn out worse than better. I wasn't on the jury. I usually don't like to be a part of the court of public opinion because the court of public opinion does not include facts always. But I'm looking at the facts here, you know, and it takes time to look at more. It's like, could this have been avoided? That's a hard thing to go about it. But yeah, and the transition into the Nancy Clancy, not I can want to call it Nancy. I just want to rhyme with everything. To transition to the why it's so hard to remember these evil people name, in my opinion. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go edit this out. Y'all just go hear the silence. Y'all work. Listen, I'm 40 now. I'm using it as an example. I'm Lindsay Clancy. Transition to Lindsay Clancy. This past week, I think it was like Thursday this week. Some of my TikTok people asked me because people were sending it to me. Then my TikTok people, I asked, made a video. Do y'all want me to look this up? Because I really haven't been involved. Because a lot of people saying, "Oh, she did it." People saying she didn't do it. She was, claiming insanity. Then they were like, the husband did it. It was a lot of controversy with this. And I'm like, ugh, y'all want me to look at this? I'll put some time in to try to give my 2 cents on it, especially since it's involving children. They're like, yeah, let's do it. I don't know if they said like that already in the comment. That's what it felt like. But I checked it out. I put a straight hour of my investigation skills, just reading on it, watching news articles, watching TikTok videos. I watched the ones who believe that the husband did it. I watched the ones that believe that she did it. I watched the ones that believe that they both did it. I watched the ones, and I try to pull the ones who actually had facts from it. I try to go the difference between the speculation and the actual facts. I paid attention to people who, when they say an opinion, and I paid attention what they say this was actually found, or this was actually said, or this was actually discovered. Okay, y'all follow me? Came back and said, "Yo, look like she did that," and not only that, it looked like she did it. She said she did it, and but it's people that were saying she's being brainwashed, she's being manipulated. I understand the minister talking about she was postpartum. And that's when it becomes tricky because she has a lot of allies, and it's scary because it feels like people are more focused on Lindsay than focused on the 3 children. I've seen the comments, heard and watched the videos that women and some men are saying, even if she did it, she has the right to do. She's the mother. I've that's what they're saying. They've had the urge to do the same thing, and they have children around. I'm like, baby, this that ain't normal. That's not normal. And then they explain to people she's not on trial to say if she did it or not. It's clear evidence, and she has admitted to doing it. She did it. Like that's it. I saw the Bratz doll video. Thank you for sitting in court. I've seen the other videos that people break down why the Bratz doll video don't make sense. I've seen people talk about DNA on the bands, but everybody like it's clear that he saw it happen. He ran down there to try to take them off, and his DNA's all around the house. He lives there. What are we talking about? Like, just I'm like, what are we like? I don't, and the way people are making straw man arguments and it's pulling from whatever idea to believe something for what they feel is wild to me. And I say it's wild to me, but it's not because I've seen people do it in real life. People don't like to live in reality. People have conscious and unconscious biases towards a plethora of things. I saw the court, the trial hearing when they say she was Googling and mapping out how long it take for the husband to get to and from a certain location and then send him to go there. And she went to work on it immediately. That like it was like somebody planned it. That's the thing. And I say this once again, anybody that's dealing with postpartum or any type of psychosis or any type of mental health need, get the help. And I pray that you get the help that you need. I pray that the help works. But when they give you the help, you utilize it. It's not just that simple. But I've even seen this. The husband he's negligent. I'm an empathetic person. I put myself in Nancy's shoes. I put myself in the children's shoes. I put myself in the husband's shoes. That's the most one I'm gonna relate between the children and the husband. That's the ones I relate to the most. The reason why I've been a child and I've been an adult male, I've been a husband. I never been an adult woman. But I still empathize and recognize these things are real. I understand stress. But the facts, once again, these are the facts. She had support from the husband. He took time off. He took the kids to school. And when I say he took time off, every time she had a child, he took paternity leave, extended paternity leave. He hired a nanny. He took the kids to school and to daycare. He was going to get food for the family to bring back for what she asked for him to go there. They had support from both sets of grandparents. Once again, he hired a nanny. She wasn't working at the time. He supported her passions. This is all actual evidence. None of this is made up. None of that speculation. Anything that he said, well, he may have said this, he may have done it. That is speculation. No, may. That is what happened. It's proof of these things. And for so people, I know too many people, women, mothers that have way less support. And she had a psychiatrist once again. She had a psychiatrist and a therapist. She was not telling them the full truth, and she was not taking her medication fully, and she was not following their recommendations as they were when they offered to put her in inpatient, she declined inpatient. So I say all these things for people who still on the fence if she did it or not the ones that don't know if she was going through psychosis or not at the moment. I once again I said that's the argument that's in trial right now, and everything will work out how justice is going to work out, but or the court's going to work out. But if you don't believe she did it and you don't believe she had support, what else do you think should have happened? What else you think if you were in that household without the husband being there, what would you have done? And going to dissonance and recidivism. Time is going to be given. Justice, what the court say is going to be. But when people serve their time, how do we treat them when they get out? How do they become reacclimated into society? And go to recidivism. I worked with a nonprofit. I was on a board for several years here in the greater Houston area. Pace Youth. I don't know if they're still active. I had to step off when I moved to Seattle, but it worked on diminishing the recidivism rate of youth here in Harris County, meaning working to assure that that child or the juvenile does not go back to juvenile detention or go to prison. Okay. Recidivism mean a person goes back to committing crimes after they already served their time in jail or face punishment for the past offense. It's mainly discussing repeat offenders. And the opposite of that is dissonance. It's mainly when you get out, when you have freedom, it's mean you remain out of trouble. Let's just make it that simple. Okay. I know the need of bringing people about back into the community. It's like when you have to change their environment. When someone just it was like we talk about a youth. if a child's getting in trouble and you put that child through all these different counselors and therapy sessions and redirection sessions and things of that, and educating a child what to do and what not to do. But they go back in the same environment, the same household, the same people that talking to him crazy, the same people that not giving their attention, the same people who's doing the behaviors he's been told not to do. Sooner or later, or it's higher chance that the child is going to repeat those behaviors. And as I said before on this platform, adults are nothing but older children. You still need to learn, you still need love, you still need support. The difference is now you're responsible. You have more responsibilities and you will have more punishments for your actions as well. So when we talk about recidivism and dissonance, how do we treat the ones who are coming back into community? How do we treat our society that has served the time that they're supposed to serve? Do we give them a fair shot, fair opportunity to build, to learn, to grow, to love? Or like many of the world biblically, people don't believe in grace. They believe you should get the highest punishment for what they feel like you should have for the rest of your life. I don't care if you stole a sock from somebody, you deserve a lifetime of punishment and shame. Once again, this is a Sunday Night Live. We ain't gonna be on here talking about all this all night. This is just a little bit of something y'all can nibble on for the week. Then we can talk about it more if y'all like to. This is something for us to think about, converse about, and follow up. Because we didn't talked about Lindsay Clancy. We've talked about Carmelo Anthony. We've talked about family reunions. We've talked about recidivism and dissidence. We could talk about Texas Roadhouse. Oh, y'all ain't heard? I just heard this. So it's not so much Texas Roadhouse. I'm a little bit more mature than this. So I ain't gonna throw it at Texas Roadhouse like their fault. Y'all need to check it. We can talk about the workforce and how people should behave and make sure you're hiring the right personnel for the right things. But it's a racist group on Facebook. And within this racist group on Facebook, they have racist people that are working in establishments and they are plotting and planning to harm or disturb the food or the meals or the peace of patrons who are other than white, primarily black. One of the places they said it was Texas Roadhouse, and is it Loggins or Logan's? I never been. I've seen Logan's, but I've never been inside of Logan's. But I do. Yeah, I think I've been inside a Texas Roadhouse maybe twice to three times in the past 3, 4 years. Okay, I got some Texas Roadhouse honey butter in my refrigerator right now. And the reason they need to check all that, they need to research, they need to interview. Don't. It's not just Texas Roadhouse, my people. It's everywhere. This is the thing that we talked about years ago about racial battle fatigue. Just because you're black, people are going to people are going to try to disturb your peace. Period. That is just that simple. So everywhere you go, be attentive, watch, look, check. It's not safe. I know people may say, "Oh, this is 2026." Baby, it don't matter. If I log into Modern Warfare or any video game and I turn on a public microphone, listen to what these babies are even saying, these children. It's all on the internet. We got cameras now. We've been having them. Like that excuse has to go out the window. But as it said in a great film by the name of Boys in the hood, either they don't know, don't show, or don't care. They have a secret group that they're plotting racist ways or numerous different ways to continue to build racism and bigotry. News fact: Black people don't hang themselves, y'all. I just want you to be clear about that. Black people don't hang themselves. And I think we're going to end it on that right there, man. We're going to continue the conversation later, of course. We appreciate y'all being here. If you want to join the Zoom conversation, I have the information up on TikTok right now. But as always, man, thank y'all for joining in. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for listening. I hope y'all have a great week this week. And yeah, Leo season is over, baby. We're heading into what's this next one? You know, well, who all the ones don't for the next 11 months or so. You know, we just gotta let everybody have a good time with themselves. But man, I'm Drake with Everything Culture. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we'll chop it up with y'all later, man. Peace.